Good afternoon and welcome into Muenster Field, the site for today's Prep A Championship in NJISAA Girls Field Hockey, as it's the Montclair Kimberley Academy Cougars taking on the Hun Raiders. Chris Markowitz here for Play-by-Play Productions on a beautiful fall afternoon. MKA dressed in their home white, attacking right to left on your screen. The Hun Raiders dressed in their road black, going on a counter here. Two talented teams who played very well throughout the regular season, meeting here on the campus of MKA. Ava Ollander with the touch. This goes out and will stay with the Raiders. A humid afternoon here. Temperatures in the low 60s. But we've had rain on and off today. So on a restart, it's possession with the Raiders just outside the fan. Maya Zalan swings it to her left. Intercepted by MKA. Solid defensive effort there by the Cougars. The Raiders continuing to work with possession. Whistle here is against Hun, and MKA will head the opposite direction. This will be possession with the Cougars on the restart. Here's a ball sent towards the cage. And an easy save for Hun. Nora Kempson, the senior goalkeeper, comes into today with 137 saves on the season. Ava Ollander, taken away by MKA, but the whistle against the Cougars. Good work there by Ollander, the senior who has 6 goals on the year. Sider with the interception. Temkin, whistle. And this stays with MKA. No penalty corner here. Excellent defense by Ana Dios. Dios, one of the senior leaders for the Raiders, who has 6 goals and 4 assists on the year. Three minutes have gone by in the opening period. Chris Markowitz here for Play-by-Play Productions. Our apologies for some technical difficulties with our score clock. No score yet. The Raiders on the attack here for the second time this afternoon. It's Piper Morey, the freshman, who has been impressive for Hun this season with 12 goals to lead the Raiders. This goes out, last touch by Ollander, so a reset for MKA. Hun comes into today's contest on a 7-game winning streak. As here comes MKA on the attack. Mimi Temkin leading the charge. This goes out, stays with the Cougars. MKA has won their last 3 contests. Ava Ollander with another solid defensive effort. She has been all over the turf early on, as we are not even 5 minutes into the action. Neither team with a shot opportunity yet. This goes out off MKA. Raiders looking to get it across midfield. It goes out, stays with the Cougars. Another interception by Ollender. The Cougars trying to reverse fields here. Shea Brannigan keeps it on the far sideline. Murphy on the restart out of bounds. Whistle here, and it's against MKA as this game continues to be a battle at midfield. Whistle as it stays with Hun. And Phoebe Thielman leading the charge for the Raiders. Hun progressing, getting a couple whistles on this attack. Solid defensive effort there by Lucy Osterberg. And the Cougars take it away. Addie Goldstein near midfield. And Lauren Larkin wins it back for the Raiders. Another whistle against MKA as Thielman plays on. Whistle, and this is a penalty corner coming up for the Raiders. Phoebe Thielman, the junior, with a solid effort to help set it up. And it's the first opportunity on a penalty corner of the match. Ana Dios lines up to send it in for the Raiders. The shot wide right, quality chance there for Thielman. But narrowly misses a chance to give Hun an early 1-0 advantage. The Raiders working it up the far sideline. There's Thielman again. Solid defense here by the Cougars to thwart that effort. Lucy Osterberg now at midfield, marked by Allie Leva, earns a whistle. Whistle is against Hun. It stays with Osterberg. She plays it forward. Temkin. Good feed. Sider. Great pass. Nearly found Goldstein right in front of the cage. Goldstein unable to put a stick on it. It would have been a one-on-one from a very dangerous spot. Kempson out of position there. I shouldn't say out of position. It would have been a tough save for her on a great feed. And Kempson fortunate that a shot didn't come off that play. We remain scoreless with 6 minutes and 8 seconds left to play in the opening quarter. Chris Markowitz here for Play-by-Play Productions. Great interception for MKA, and here they come on the attack. Goldstein leading the charge. Goldstein with the shot, and it's wide right. Addie Goldstein, a one-player show on interception and shot opportunity. It stays with MKA. In the fan, Fitzgerald, and this goes out. Last touch by MKA. So a couple quality looks there for the Cougars as we remain tied 0-0. Goldstein on that breakaway with the best chance yet for MKA. And she's their lead scorer this year with 23 goals on the campaign. Also has 7 assists. Temkin, pass ahead, one-on-one now. The shot by Goldstein off target to the right. And once again, Nora Kempson and the Hun School Raiders catch a break defensively. Errant pass here by Zahlen. And it stays with the Cougars. MKA with an impressive stretch here on the attack. Another dangerous chance here. Whistle, and this is a penalty corner for MKA. So now the Cougars beginning to do some damage on the attack. And on the restart, it's sent to Temkin. Tries a shot. Kick save by Hempson. Great stop there. Second effort wide left. Sider had a chance, but dragged it a bit too far to her left. Nora Kempson, give her credit for the initial save. And we remain scoreless. Sun beginning to poke through a couple clouds here at Muenster Field. It's been mostly overcast this afternoon. Whistle here, and that is against MKA. Sider with the interception. Murphy sending it forward. That's Sider. Excellent defense by Phoebe Thielman to prevent a pass towards the cage. And it's taken away by Hun.
Go, let's go.
Fitzgerald sending it forward. That's Sider. Whistle, and it's against her. We'll head the other way with 2:27 left in the opening period. Hun with possession. Ava Che somehow finds Alexa Cavalli. Cavalli in a battle, earns a whistle. And it's a restart for Hun. Laura Larkin with the initial touch. There's Thielman. $1:50 remaining in a scoreless opening quarter. These are two teams offensively that have the ability to fill up a stat sheet, but so far it's been a defensive battle. MKA with a couple of quality opportunities a few minutes ago. Here comes Hun as this goes out. Last touch by the Raiders. Outside of the penalty corner chance for Hun, there haven't been many opportunities for the girls in black today. MKA progressing on the attack. Sider from midfield, sends it forward, her pass intercepted. Dios up the far sideline. Taken away by MKA. Grace Fitzgerald. Marked by Leva. Thielman takes it away for Hun. 25 seconds remaining in the quarter. Hollander able to keep possession for the Raiders, but then whistled for an infraction. Ten seconds remaining in the opening quarter. Could be a late chance here for the Cougars. Goldstein tracks it down. And the clock expires with Goldstein inching towards the cage. So through 15 minutes of action, We're scoreless in the Prep A title game. We'll take a break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Prep A Girls Field Hockey Championship on Play-by-Play Productions. Second quarter here at Muenster Field, Prep A championship game in girls field hockey. Chris Markowitz here for Play-by-Play Productions. Scoreless through one quarter of action. The Cougars had a couple quality chances in that opening quarter. We saw Addie Goldstein generate a few of them. Each team with a penalty corner. On with not too many chances through the first 15 minutes of play, as here come the Raiders on the attack. Taken away by MKA, that's Temkin. Her pass a bit too off target, intended for Goldstein. Anadios. Pass up the sideline, taken away by MKA. Dios again, goes out. Last touch by the Cougars. A gorgeous autumn afternoon. Leaves falling here on the campus of MKA. With Halloween tomorrow, certainly a festive time of the year. Whistle here, it's against Hun. And I'm sure both these teams want to go into school tomorrow celebrating their Halloween with a Prep A title victory. As Goldstein lets it go out. Last touch by Hun. Goldstein in the corner. Good pass towards the cage. Cleaned up by Hun. Still with the Cougars. This intended for Temkin. And MKA will have it on the restart. 2 minutes gone by quickly here in the second quarter. Fredette taken away. That's Piper Morey, but she's whistled for an infraction. Cougars keep it. Maggie Murphy on the attack, and she's whistled for the infraction. We'll head the other direction. At midfield, Allender, the intended target. It's taken away. Sider. Whistle. She'll keep it. Sam Sider winds up, fires a pass towards the cage. Broken up by Maya Zalin. Sends it out of play. Murphy to get it in. Fredette. Intended for Temkin. Murphy. Her pass off target and a breakaway chance here for the Raiders. Hun moving quickly. Allender up the far sideline, but her touch too far in front. It goes out for the Cougars. That ball off target, out of play, back to Hun with 11:15 to play in the first half. Big windup on the long pass. It goes out of play. An easy decision there for Malia Cesario, the keeper for MKA. Whistle here, and it's a restart for Hun from a very advantageous position. Temkin with a timely interception, but it stays with Hun as Temkin looked like she touched it with her right foot. Chance here for the Raiders. The shot wide right. Abby Eastman, the sophomore, with a quality chance there. Whistle, this is against Hun. Five minutes have gone by here in the second quarter. So through 20 minutes of play, we are scoreless. Chris Markowitz here for Play-by-Play Productions. Both teams now with a couple quality chances to get on the scoreboard. Fredette. Whistle, some confusion here. It's Murphy on the restart. Sider. A lot of contact there. Whistle's silent. And they call that against Hun, so it stays with Sider here. Sam Sider. Whistle against Sider. Hun will head the other way. Intercepted by Sider. Fredette for Sider. Sam Sider winds up with a backhanded pass, and that is above the shoulders, whistled for an infraction. Swanson up ahead to Dios, taken away by MKA, and then whistled for a foul. So a restart for Dios near midfield. Dios takes herself across the midfield line. And another whistle against MKA. The Cougars not happy with the call. They thought that was all stick on the deflection. Dios with a strong pass. It stays with her as Osterberg deflected it with her right foot. Cavalli in the corner. A pass towards the net. Eastman in the area. Now Allender in a battle with Murphy. Somehow able to keep possession, but Allender touches it with her right foot. Will head the other way. Temkin with a runner at midfield. That was Sider, but Ava Che was there anticipating the pass. Here's Goldstein, had it briefly, poked loose. Allender up the far sideline. We've seen her attack there a number of times here in the first half. Vileman, her touch a bit too far out in front. Dios whistled for the infraction. MKA goes quickly. This pass off target, taken away by Swanson. Under 7 minutes remaining in the opening half. Running clock in high school girls field hockey. Big time interception by Aspen Swanson, the sophomore who's been in on a number of key defensive plays for the Raiders these last couple of minutes. Cavalli keeps it in, taken away by Fredette. Swanson. Whistle is against MKA. Restart for the Raiders on the attacking half. Under 6 minutes to play now in the second quarter. Che whistled for the infraction. MKA looking to sprint on a counter. Here's Temkin racing ahead of everyone. Temkin across the arc. Tries a shot, not much mustard on it. Excellent defense there by Allender, but a late whistle. And it's going to be a penalty corner. And that's all thanks to the effort by Mimi Temkin, who took the Hun defense on herself and generates a big-time chance here for the Cougars. So Maggie Murphy will send it in with 5 minutes remaining in the quarter. Murphy over to Temkin. She'll try a shot, saved. And the whistle as it was above the shoulders. Kempson was ready for it regardless. So another missed chance there for MKA. But their pressure relentless. This whistled for an infraction against Fitzgerald. Fredette up to Murphy. Her pass intercepted. Sider to midfield, intended for Fredette. Allender. Now Murphy takes it away for MKA. 4 minutes remaining in the first half. Goldstein on the attack, has a couple runners with her. Goldstein slips it, intended for Temkin, broken up. Excellent defense there by Hun, but here's Sider, her pass intercepted. That time it's Laura Larkin, the senior, back defensively. And this leads to a penalty corner. Third penalty corner of the contest for MKA. Still searching for that opening score. Murphy to send it in. Back to Temkin. Extra swing. That's Sider. Pass off target. Sider near the end line. It goes out of play, and it's off her. Oh, no, they're saying penalty corner again, so someone touched it with their foot for the Raiders inside the arc. And another penalty corner for MKA. They've generated 3 in the last 3 minutes. Murphy again. This time Sider lined up near her. Fitzgerald behind her, but they go towards the top of the arc. There's Temkin. Her shot blocked, and it's another penalty corner. Fourth in the last 3 minutes here for MKA. Back to Temkin. She takes her time and runs out of time. Excellent defense there by Hun. Maya Zalin and Ana Dios on a team effort there, as we've got less than 2 minutes remaining in the first half. Now the Raiders looking to go on a counter here. It's been all MKA for the past 4 minutes of action. At midfield, Thielman whistled for the infraction. Here comes MKA back on the attack. Sider, persistent. Now Goldstein. Near the end line. Goldstein whistled for the infraction. Pass out of play, stays with MKA. One minute remaining in the half. Hun has to go all the way down the field here to try and generate a chance. At midfield, Piper Morey. And it's taken away by MKA. 30 seconds remaining in the half. The Cougars looking for one final opportunity before the horn. Osterberg generates a whistle. And that's a big-time call here, as MKA, with a restart chance, clock still running. I'm not sure if they're aware of that. 3 seconds remaining in the half, and we'll see if the officials add time, as the clock has expired, but they will allow MKA to have this penalty corner opportunity. So a chance with the clock stopped for MKA to score before the half. Murphy with the centering feed. The shot still alive. Murphy scores! And MKA at the buzzer able to take a 1-0 lead. Maggie Murphy finds pay dirt, and the Cougars going wild as they'll take the lead into the locker room. A team effort there, and MKA able to squeak one through with the clock at double zeros. Fun one here at Muenster Field. We'll take a break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the Prep A NJISAA Girls Field Hockey Championship on Play by Play Productions. Second half about to get underway here at Muenster Field. Chris Markowitz here for Play-by-Play Productions as MKA leads Hun 1-0 at the beginning of the second quarter. And MKA able to score late in the first half, literally as the clock expired, thanks to a penalty corner. Murphy with the goal, and the Cougars with the lead. Both teams with a couple quality chances early on in the contest, and then MKA was able to generate 5 penalty corners in a matter of 5 minutes off the clock. Sider, who was very active in the first half, her pass intercepted. Here comes Hun on the attack. The Raiders hungry for the equalizer. That's Allender. Ava Allender very involved in the first half, attacking up the far sideline. Temkin, who was the main target for Maggie Murphy on penalty corners in the first half. Fitzgerald, good pass up ahead. Sider sends it towards the cage. Goldstein was in the area. It's sent away by Hun. Happy to have you with us here on Play-by-Play Productions. Here for the NJISAA Prep A Girls Field Hockey Championship game here in 2023. Beautiful day here in Montclair, New Jersey. Temperatures in the low 60s. Cloudy, but the rain has held up. We had showers on and off leading into the contest. But this has been perfect weather. Hun with a big-time interception here. Could be a chance. Piper Morey tries a shot, and we're even at 1. The freshman, Piper Morey, with her 13th goal of the year. An off-balance strike. And Morey delivers the goods. Costly mistake there by MKA on a bad pass on the back line. And we have begun anew here at Muenster Field. Morey, the lead goal scorer this year for the Raiders. In just her freshman campaign, such a talented player on the attack. MKA looking for a quick answer. Temkin over to Goldstein, battling for possession. Chance for MKA. That was Osterberg, unable to get a shot off. Quality defense by the Raiders, looking to counter. Morey, great feed over to Cavalli, but she's unable to track it down. And it's intercepted by Kaminsky. Maddie Kaminsky was very active defensively in the first half, making a number of interceptions in favor of MKA, and they get a whistle in their favor here. Fitzgerald will have it on the restart. Whistle, the official sorting this out here. Clock continues to roll with 11:23 and counting in the third. So Murphy with the goal at the end of the second quarter for MKA. Morey scores 2 minutes into the third quarter. And here comes Hun on the attack. Whistle here is against Morey for the infraction. That touches Allender on the back of her heel, so Hun able to intercept it, get it back. Restart for Hun. Whistle, and this comes from the other end of the field. It's going to be with the Raiders on the restart. Thielman. Her pass picked off. That's Sider. Now Zolin. Interception by Larkin. Tangled up with Goldstein, and Larkin not happy with the call. They get her for the infraction. We'll head the other way. The Hun faithful not happy about that one. Fredette. Now Murphy. 10 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Goldstein keeps it in on the end line. Her pass finds no one. Taken away by Zolin. Dangerous swing there with Osterberg lurking. Hun on a counter here. Dios able to get past Sider. Check that. That's Wallace back defensively. Dios across the arc. The Hun faithful asking for a corner. Dios wants it as well. And now Fredette guilty of the infraction, and so the Raiders able to generate the set piece corner here. Penalty corner for Hun with 8:50 and counting here in the third. Just their second corner of the match. And it's Dios to take it. Thielman sends in a strong shot, rejected. Brilliant kick save there. Still alive for the Raiders. Whistle, and we'll have the other direction. And then a late whistle comes in to boot. And looks like we'll have a card drawn here. And sent off on the play is Ava Allender. So Allender will have to wait. MKA with the advantage. Whistle against Hun. And here comes MKA on the attack. Cesario with a brilliant save, by the way, to keep this a 1-1 contest. Fitzgerald sealed off by a pair of defenders. Hun playing a player down right now, but still able to remain collective defensively, or organized, I should say, defensively. MKA, even with the player advantage, struggling to find the openings right now. Allender waiting to return. Goldstein. Well defended by Dios. Sider in the area, earns the whistle, goes quickly, but they'll stop her from doing so. They get Dios with the foul. Murphy. Here's Murphy again. Fredette still alive, and MKA able to set up the penalty corner. Hollander has returned to the turf for Hun as 2 minutes have gone by. But a chance here for the Cougars to reclaim the lead. Temkin's been the target for Murphy. But Murphy scored on the penalty corner just before the half. Sider to Temkin. Winds up for a shot. Deflected, still alive inside the arc. This popped up. Whistle, and another penalty corner coming up for MKA. 7th in the match for the Cougars. 5.5 remaining here in the third quarter. Murphy once again. Goldstein. Well defended. Ava Che takes it away. And this whistle against MKA. So Hun playing a player down for a few moments there. And also facing a pair of penalty corners, able to keep MKA off the scoreboard. The Raiders looking for a counter here. Breakaway chance. It's Hollander. Blanketed, excellent defense by Wallace, but Hollander wins it back. Sends a shot. Check that, a pass intended for Cavalli, but a bit too strong. You like the idea there by Hollander. Just unable to hit Cavalli in stride. It was perhaps a step or two behind her. This whistle against MKA. Fredette. Excellent find. Goldstein with room to run. Marked by Che. Goldstein turns on the Jets. Centering feed. Temkin turns, shoots, it's blocked. That's Zollin once again with an excellent effort. Still with MKA. But Hun has to be pleased with the defense so far. Fredette, dangerous ball. Intercepted and sent away by Swanson. Aspen Swanson, the sophomore, with a big play there. Fitzgerald. Taken away by Hun. Eastman. Off target. Stays with the Raiders. Leva. Good ball. The centering pass off target. Morey was running in a dangerous spot, but unable to be hit in stride. This whistle against Aspen Swanson. So a missed chance there for Hun on a breakaway. Hollander had Piper Morey striking towards the cage, but unable to get solid contact on the pass. Two minutes remaining here in the third quarter. A tie contest at Muenster Field. Good pass for Goldstein. She tracks it down with space. Goldstein attacking towards the end line and generates another opportunity for MKA. 8th penalty corner of the contest for the Cougars. This time it will be Sydney Fredette to send it in. Murphy had sent in the previous 7. Sider. Extra pass. Here's the shot wide right. And Sydney Fredette can't believe it. Staring at the cage. She had a golden opportunity there to give the Cougars another lead. And the Raiders breathe a collective sigh of relief. Larkin over to Dios. 45 seconds remaining in the period. As Piper Morey on the attack. Fredette with the takeaway and earns the whistle. MKA hustling to go the opposite direction here with 25 seconds remaining in the half. Goldstein whistled for the shove. Hun back on the ball. And they'll send this all the way up the close sideline with 10 seconds remaining. Hun needs to move quickly here. Instead, they work it backwards. And the clock will run out on the Raiders as we are even at 1 through 3 quarters of play. Big-time goal by the freshman Piper Morey to make this a tie score headed into the 4th. Fun one here on Play by Play Productions. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the NJISAA Prep A Girls Field Hockey Championship. Fourth quarter in the NJISAA Prep A Championship game in girls field hockey. Chris Markowitz here for Play-by-Play Productions. 15 minutes remaining. A champion waiting to be crowned. MKA took a 1-0 lead into the locker room at half thanks to a late goal by Maggie Murphy. The clock had run out, but the Cougars scored on a last-second penalty corner. Hun got the response early on in the third quarter from their talisman, Piper Morey, the freshman who scored her 13th goal of the year. And what a battle it has been here at Muenster Field.
Stick down, 5 yards, 5 yards.
MKA in their home white attacking left to right on your screen. Hun in their road black, attacking right to left when they have possession. Goldstein tries a centering feed and earns the whistle. This outside the arc. The Cougars have generated 8 penalty corner opportunities, just 2 so far for Hun. Fredette on the restart. Her pass off target, out of play. At midfield, Hun looking for a counter here. Allender keeps possession. Ava Allender has made a number of key plays today for the Raiders. There's Maury. She leaves it for Allender. In the corner, Brannigan battles with Allender, and it goes out of play, stays with the Raiders. Dangerous ball. Maury rips a shot wide left. Oh, man. Quality chance there for Maury to pick up her second goal and give the Raiders a late lead. But she narrowly misses. So we remain even 1-1 down the stretch. Larkin with the interception. The Raiders on the close sideline with the restart. Allender. Thielman to Allender. Up ahead, her pass off target intended for Maury. Under 12 minutes remaining in regulation. Brannigan on the restart. Brannigan, strong feed up ahead. There's Temkin. And Mimi Temkin has been blanketed today by the Raiders. Such a talented player. Looking at the stats this year, 19 goals, 27 assists for the senior. But the Raiders have been able to limit her damage here this afternoon. Fitzgerald up the far sideline. Sider slips one forward. And a whistle against Hun. Sider strikes one towards the cage. No one touches it. That pass from way outside the arc. And Hun will head the other way. The Cougars will have it from out of bounds on the far sideline near their bench. At midfield, Murphy collects, deposits a great feed for Goldstein. Addie Goldstein, marked by Larkin, and earns a whistle. And that's from outside the arc. MKA instinctively walking to their positions for a penalty corner. As here's a dangerous ball. Goldstein in a battle, keeps it in play. Whistle, and that is against Goldstein. Great defense again by Zahlen. Whistle away from the ball. Clock is paused here as being sent off is Mimi Temkin. 9:34 remaining on the game clock, and we'll adjust that here on our end. Clock rolling once again. Hun calling for an infraction, a late whistle, but Murphy did touch it with her foot. So the Raiders get the whistle. This one against Allender, who loses her stick. Fredette going quickly here. Slips it to Goldstein, unable to make a clean touch, and it goes out for the Raiders. Goldstein intercepts the errant pass. Inside the arc now. Her pass broken up. Swings for Sider. Sam Sider turns the corner. Rips it towards the cage. Still alive. This shot generates a whistle. And it will be another penalty corner for the Cougars. 9th of the contest. And a chance here to grab a late lead. Fredette will send it in, her second attempt to send in a penalty corner of the contest. Over to Murphy, unable to make a clean touch. Missed chance there for the Cougars. And now Che battling with Fitzgerald, and she earns the whistle. Piper Morey intended for Allender. Allender unable to make the touch. Hun wins it back momentarily. Leva, slips it forward. Here's Morey. It finds her shot over the crossbar. And a missed chance again for Morey to put Hun in front. Morey can't believe it. She normally is money from that range. It was a one-on-one for her and the keeper, but she got underneath it. And here comes MKA trying to counter. Osterberg wheels, turns, tries a pass, and it goes out off Hun. Under 7 minutes remaining now in regulation. Clearance. And that leads to a whistle for another penalty corner. They get Larkin with the infraction, 10th penalty corner of the contest for the Cougars. This time Murphy will send it in. Maggie Murphy with the lone goal today for the Cougars. She scored off of a penalty corner. Temkin. Over to Sider, back to Temkin. Hesitates. Still alive in the arc. This whistle is against Hun, and another penalty corner coming up. And this is exactly what we saw at the end of the second quarter. The Cougars generating multiple penalty corner chances until they were finally able to get on the board. Murphy to Temkin. She turns the corner, taken away by Dios. Ana Dios with excellent defense against the MKA talisman. Dios leading the break. Tumble here, and MKA gets the whistle. Fredette against Stileman. Murphy ahead to Goldstein, and she goes on the attack, has a good angle. Goldstein one-on-one with the tender, and a whistle comes in. Goldstein tripped up. Let's see what it's for. Is this a penalty stroke? No deliberation yet. And it's going to be MKA ball outside the arc. So excellent instincts there by the keeper, Nora Kempson, to prevent what would have been a cross towards the middle of the arc from Goldstein or a shot towards the cage. Either way, Goldstein was in a dangerous spot. Kempston came out to stop it, and we'll make an adjustment to the clock. They added some time back onto it with 5 minutes remaining here in regulation. Whistle here is against Hun, so another penalty corner here for the Cougars, their 11th of the contest, third in the last 3 minutes. Murphy once again to send it in. Murphy to Sider. Temkin with space, tries a shot, deflected, and it's off of her. So Hun able to avoid another opportunity for the Cougars, and a timeout taken with 4 minutes and 15 seconds left to play here in regulation. So we'll take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the NJISAA Prep A Girls Field Hockey Championship on Play-by-Play Productions. Four minutes and 15 seconds remaining here in regulation of the NJISAA Girls Field Hockey Championship Contest. Hun with it on a restart. Chris Markowitz here for Play-by-Play Productions, and what a contest it has been. MKA took a 1-0 lead into the half thanks to a last-second goal by Maggie Murphy. Hun School able to get back on the board and equalize it early in the third quarter on a goal by Piper Morey. Morey with a couple chances after that to give Hun the lead. MKA with numerous opportunities off penalty corners to jump back in front. But we remain even at 1, and it stays with the Cougars here on the restart. Fredette just outside the arc. Dangerous pass. Goldstein whistled for the infraction, and Hun will head the other direction. A contest that feels destined for overtime. But I'm sure these players all have aspirations to be heroes at the end of regulation. Murphy leaves it in the corner. Sider back to Murphy. Dangerous ball alive inside the arc. Temkin in the area. Whistle. It's against her. Frustration setting in for Mimi Temkin, who has been blanketed today by the Raiders. MKA takes it back. Goldstein with space. Addie Goldstein. Her pass blocked by Morey. Another restart for MKA. Fredette. On a couple cutbacks. Lost possession. Piper Morey takes it. Looking to distribute. Finds Allender. Up the sideline. Dios with running room. Dios being chased by Wallace. Across the arc. Dios draws a whistle, and it's a penalty corner for Hun with 1:50 remaining. Just the third penalty corner today for the Raiders, but this could not have come at a better time. Hun milking some clock here, taking their time to send it in. Running clock. Down to 1:30 remaining. Dios. Centering feed. Still alive. Leva slips it through. Excellent defense by MKA. Cavalli has her pass broken up. Sent away by Brannigan. And the Cougars keeping it out of the cage for now. Still with Hun. Cavalli has it taken away. Leva whistled for an infraction. Will head the opposite direction with 52 seconds remaining in regulation. Big takeaway by Allender. Centering feed shot hits the post. Oh my. Ava Dios misses by about 6 inches. And there's a player down for Hun. Ana Dios had a golden opportunity. Clock stops for an injured player. And Ava Allender down on the turf. Allender's been such a key member of this team. 6 goals as a senior. Allender being tended to by the training staff. In a lot of discomfort right now. And it is dead silent here at Muenster Field. We'll take a break. Ava Allender being helped to the sideline by the Hun training staff after taking a tumble late here in the NJISAA Prep A girls state title game. Tough moment for the Raiders, who had a chance on a breakaway to score the game-winning goal. Ana Dios narrowly missed, hitting the woodwork. But the Raiders will have it on the restart. Check that, it's with MKA on the restart. 38 seconds remaining in regulation. As we're even at the end of regulation. Overtime looming here at Muenster Field. Clock winds. MKA hustling downfield, trying to generate a late chance here. Temkin in the area. Whistle is against the Cougars. On the far sideline, 10 seconds remaining. One final look here. Whistle with the Cougars. And we are headed to overtime in the Prep A Girls State Finals. A classic here at Muenster Field. Don't go anywhere. Overtime championship action coming up next on Play-by-Play Productions. Overtime in the Prep A championship game of girls field hockey, as we are even at 1 through 60 minutes of action. Chris Markowitz here for Play-by-Play Productions, and what a battle it's been. Hun taking on MKA. Both teams had chances in the tail end of the contest to take a late lead, and now it's 7-on-7 for 10 minutes. Ava Allender, the injured player for Hun at the tail end of regulation, such a big part of their team. Helped off by the training staff. So the Raiders without one of their key seniors. Maya Zalin with an excellent defensive effort there. Alexa Cavalli attacking up the far sideline. Cavalli with Mori as a runner, tries to send it to her. Well defended. Wallace sends it towards the far sideline. 7-on-7, so more room to operate for both teams. It's sudden victory. First to score will win. Temkin to Goldstein, just a bit too far out in front. It would have been a one-on-one with the keeper. Instead, we had the other direction. This pass a bit too far for Cavalli. And this is where conditioning becomes so important for these athletes. The long runs more available with 4 players off for each squad. Here's Temkin. Goldstein again stretching the field. Her pass left short. Swanson there to break it up. Here's a pass for Maury. The initial touch. Now Wallace back defensively, cleans it up. Eight minutes remaining in overtime. If neither team is able to score, we'll go to a one-on-one shootout as Swanson lost possession out of play. MKA has it near midfield. That's Murphy. Up to Goldstein, picked off by Swanson. Aspen Swanson, the sophomore, has had some big defensive plays here today, but once again off target, intended for Maury. Sider towards the arc. Good feed. And, oh, man, a missed chance there for Temkin, who was staring at the game winner, unable to make contact. And we remain even at 1 with 7 minutes left in overtime. The Raider fan base breathing a collective sigh of relief there. And here comes on the other way. Maury. On the attack, Piper Maury. Still with possession, slips it through. Dangerous play here. Leva, it's taken away. Murphy able to come in on a hustle play. Dios whistled for the infraction. MKA looks to counter, and they'll slow it down. Temkin leaves it. Frenetic pace here in overtime. Whistle from all the way across the turf, and MKA will have to reset here. Fredette over to Murphy. Murphy looking for Goldstein. Holds possession, her pass broken up. Once again sniffed out by Swanson. Whistle, and that's against Thielman. Murphy slips it through to Goldstein. Has the angle, but once again, Aspen Swanson with a brilliant defensive play. 5.5 minutes remaining. Goldstein. Now it's Sider. Bumped by Swanson, and MKA keeps it on the restart. Murphy to Sider. Swanson, now it ends up with Murphy. Just outside the arc. Whistle, and that's because it hit the right foot of Sam Sider. So Hun with it now. Oh, taken away. Temkin in a dangerous spot. Temkin whistled for the infraction. Mimi Temkin was able to get possession momentarily in a very dangerous position. But Kempson and her back line able to deny Temkin. As Hun coming on the attack here. Leva. Good feed. Thielman. And it's cleared outside the arc, just outside. Cavalli tracks it down in a battle with Fredette. Four minutes remaining in overtime. Fredette slips it through to Goldstein. It goes out. Last touch by Hun. And a whistle from the opposite end of the turf. Timeout taken by MKA with 3:47 remaining in overtime. This one coming down to the finish line. What a contest here in the NJISAA Prep A state title game. We'll take a brief break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching state championship action on Play-by-Play Productions. .347 remaining in overtime of the NJSIAA Prep A Girls Field Hockey Championship. MKA with possession out of a timeout, looking for a sudden victory goal. Chris Markowitz here for Play-by-Play Productions. It's been a fun one. Maggie Murphy with the goal today for the Cougars. Piper Morey scored for the Raiders. Goldstein inside the arc. Her pass intended for Temkin. Finds her. Temkin denied. Brilliant defensive effort by Leva. One back by MKA. Murphy inside the arc. Tries a shot. Denied. A toe save and a beauty by Kempson. And this is cleared towards the sideline. Maggie Murphy had a good look there for her second goal and what would have been the game winner. Dangerous ball here. Hun looking to clear it, and they do. Piper Morey unable to keep possession, but she gets the whistle. Sider with the infraction, and Hun has it with 2:50 to play. If we remain even at 1 at the end of overtime, we'll head to a one-on-one shootout. Murphy up to Goldstein, unable to make the touch. Thielman can't get it past Goldstein. Goldstein up the close sideline. Good find. There's Temkin, but it's broken up. And that's great defense by Zolin. Temkin trying to win it back, unable to do so. 2 minutes remaining. Morey streaking towards the net. Leva, well marked. Whistle here, and it's against Hun. Fredette frantic, trying to get the Cougars to hurry. as the clock is paused with a minute 44 remaining. And our apologies once again for the clock not running on our end. A couple technical difficulties here. But a minute 44 remaining here in overtime. And on that whistle, a player sent off for Hun. 2 players sent off. So Lauren Larkin and Ali Leva sent off. And it's 7-on-5 right now for MKA. Whistle here, and this is a big one. This is going to be a penalty corner with the clock running. MKA with a 2-player advantage in 7-on-7, so it's 7-on-5, just 3 in the cage right now for the Raiders, with 4 players on the attack for MKA. Sider. Over to Temkin, back to Sider. 50 seconds remaining, shot wide left. So Hun taking their time now. For the Raiders, best case scenario is just to let the clock run out and go to the one-on-one shootout. And my apologies, I'm being told there will be a second overtime. Murphy here. Slips one towards the cage. 18 seconds remaining. Murphy. Whistle. We'll head the other direction. Hun letting the clock run out as it expires. And through 70 minutes of play, we remain even at 1. What a battle here at Muenster Field. We'll take another break. You're watching the NJISAA Prep A State Championship game on Play-by-Play Productions. Second overtime here at Muenster Field. Chris Markowitz on the call for the 2023 NJISAA Prep A Girls State Championship game in field hockey. Hun playing 2 players down in 7-on-7 right now, so it's a 7-on-5 in favor of MKA. The Raiders looking to go quickly, though, and capitalize on a breakaway, unable to do so. As we're back even. Leva and Larkin release and return. So even strength for the final 9 minutes and 30 seconds here in overtime number 2. Piper Morey, who has the lone goal today for the Raiders, sends it forward. It's intercepted by Wallace. Goldstein on the sideline. Swanson with great defense. And Aspen Swanson continues to wreak havoc for the Hun Raiders on the defensive end. Dios with 9 minutes remaining. Good cutback. Across the arc. Sends it backwards. Thielman. Taken away by MKA. Goldstein with Temkin at midfield. Temkin over to Sider, unable to run it down with Zalin there defensively. And a long pass here intended for Dios, who runs out of gas, unable to track it down. An epic battle here this afternoon, going on into the early evening as Sider takes a tumble, lost possession, and here comes Hun. Morey with a shot, and again hits the woodwork. That's twice now that the Raiders have had a shot to win it off of the woodwork, one at the end of regulation. And now one in overtime. Clock continues to roll. Taken away by MKA. On the counter, Sider lost it. She had Goldstein making a run. Able to find her here. Goldstein, marked by Swanson. Takes a tumble, and that's against Goldstein. No, they get it against Swanson. Hun not happy with the call, and Swanson sent off. So once again, an advantage for MKA. 7-on-6 now in favor of the Cougars. And Larkin also off, so 7-on-5. Temkin slips it through. Goldstein. It is a 7-on-6. There was a sub in for Hun. That's why Larkin's on the sideline. Whistle here. And we're back to even strength. This time it's Mimi Temkin sent off. Larkin returns for Hun. Dios with the clock at 6 minutes and 37 seconds here on the field. We'll make the adjustment, so mind our scoreboard. Whistle, and we'll head the other direction. Up the far sideline, this trickles out of play. So Hun will have it on the restart. 6 minutes remaining in overtime. Dios on a breakaway. Sider takes a tumble. Dios has it poked loose. Fredette with the effort, but that draws a whistle. And it's a penalty corner coming up with 5.5 minutes remaining here in overtime number 2. Set piece chance for the Raiders and a chance to win it in overtime number 2 on a sudden victory goal. 6-on-6. Thielman rips a shot, and it's saved, but whistled for another penalty corner. Cesario with the stop off the right ankle pad. But another chance here for Hun. Precious seconds ticking off the clock. Dios to send it in, this time from the opposite corner. Cavalli and Thielman lined up with her. It's Thielman. Sends it in, there's Dios. Tries a shot, saved again. Brilliant effort by Cesario. Malia Cesario with back-to-back saves for MKA. Hun still threatening. Alexa Cavalli whistled for the infraction. 4 minutes remaining. Murphy up the sideline, intended for Goldstein, and it goes out. Last touch by Hun, the officials say. Murphy on the restart. Taken away by Swanson. Great ball for Cavalli. Cavalli with Wallace in the area, and she comes away with a clean steal. Sider tangled up there with Thielman, who wins it back for Hun. Dios with running room. On a Dios, marked by Fredette. Cuts back, has the angle. Dios sends in the shot, and it hits wide right on the side of the post. Dios with a solid attack there. It was a very difficult angle. Cesario played it well. And now MKA heads the opposite direction. Sider followed by Thielman. And Sider able to keep it in just barely. Nice spin move as she goes on the attack here. Sider sends it ahead. There's Goldstein. Goldstein centering feed to Sider. Tries a shot. It's deflected and goes out of play. Stays with MKA. But unfortunate there that Sider didn't have a good angle on the centering feed from Goldstein. 2:15 remaining in regulation. Or in overtime number 2, I should say, with one-on-one scenarios looming here. Whistle, and it's against MKA. Sorry, in favor of MKA. Sider again on the restart. Goldstein unable to make the touch and kicked away by Kempson. $1:40 remaining in overtime number 2. And returning here for MKA is Mimi Temkin. So we're even strength as Hun takes it away. Cavalli trying to break away here. Alexa Cavalli with Piper Morey running in the center of the turf. Cavalli, marked by Fredette, takes it away. Still with Hun. Thielman lost it but gets the whistle. 1 minute remaining in overtime 2. Brilliant move here by Thielman. Cavalli with the touch. And that whistle against Hun. This game feels destined for a shootout. As it's Sider now up the close sideline. Does MKA have anything left? MKA with numbers. It's a 3-on-2 for MKA. And Capson able to make the knee stop, but a whistle, and it stays with the Cougars. They'll have it on a restart with 20 seconds remaining. Sider, whistle, and that is against Temkin.
Go, let's go!
Cavalli, one final look here. Cavalli with Maury running, broken up, and we will head to a one-on-one shootout to crown a Prep A champion. What a battle through 80 minutes from both of these teams, and it comes down to a 5-player one-on-one shootout. We'll take a break. Don't go anywhere. A champion will be crowned next on Play-by-Play Productions. Welcome back into Muenster Field as we are even through 80 minutes of action. So we head to a one-on-one tiebreaker. Chris Markowitz here for Play-by-Play Productions, and we'll give you a brief explanation of the rules. This is very similar to the kind of tiebreaker you see at the end of a soccer match, but there are a couple distinctions here. Given it's a one-on-one, there will be 10 seconds on the clock for each attacking player. And so here are the rules for the one-on-ones. A one-on-one will be completed under the following conditions. The 10-second timer has elapsed and no goal is scored. The attacker scores a goal within the 10 seconds. The attacker commits an offense. The goalkeeper commits an unintentional offense. If that's the case, the one-on-one is retaken. If the goalkeeper commits an intentional offense, a penalty stroke is awarded and will take place before the next available one-on-one. Any eligible player on the official roster is allowed to take the penalty stroke. And the final scenario is if the ball goes out of play over the end line or sideline, including the goalkeeper intentionally placing the ball over the end line or the sideline. This action is permissible within the one-on-one rules. So that is the final scenario that will end a 1-on-1. It's a coin toss to decide who will go first on the attack. And for the two teams, they are allowed on the turf, the players and the coaches. They have to remain 25 yards away from the cage. Everyone except for obviously the attacking player and the goalkeeper. Nora Kempson near the cage right now. Long deliberation here as the officials and the coaching staffs and captains all meet to discuss the rules here in one-on-one tiebreaker. We'll go over the rules in a little bit more depth. The goalkeeper starts on or behind the goal line between the goalposts. The ball will be placed on the nearest 25-yard line opposite the center of the goal. The attacker will start standing outside the 25-yard line near the ball. The official will address the goalkeeper first and then the attacker second to indicate readiness. A lack of response will indicate readiness as well. The official will blow the whistle to begin the one-on-one, and both players may then move in any direction. All game scoring rules apply during the taking of a one-on-one with the exception of those mentioned below. Play continues for 10 seconds or until any of the following conditions we discussed earlier occur. So some deliberation as the officials are taking their time, making sure that everybody understands on both sides of the turf here the rules in this one-on-one scenario. Kempson, brilliant today. Cesario also with a number of key stops, a brilliant effort by her as well. Each team with chances to take the advantage at the end of regulation and in overtime. Hun with a number of quality shots that hit the woodwork. And it will be the Raiders on the attack first as Malia Cicero hits the crossbar with her stick, hyping herself up. And she'll be facing Ana Dios, the senior. Ten seconds on the clock. The clock starts rolling, but that's a scorekeeper's error as we haven't been whistled for a start yet. Everybody on their toes. Dios. With the angle blocked. Still alive for a second. Clock expires and a brilliant defensive effort by Cesario. So Malia Cesario with the stop for MKA. And now it's Kempson. defending for Hun, facing Osterberg. Her shot is in. Osterberg draws the arrow to celebrate, and a 1-0 advantage in the tiebreaker for MKA. Huge goal for Osterberg. And here comes Hun on the second shot. Thielman hesitates. Lost it. Cesario unable to kick it away. It hits the pipe but goes in this time, so Thielman evens the tiebreaker at 1-1. Phoebe Thielman, big response, and now it's Goldstein. Nora Kempson between the posts again. Goldstein on the attack. Goldstein, 2 to shoot. Fires, it's in. Goldstein composed on that play. And MKA ahead 2-1 in the tiebreaker. Zahlen. 3 seconds to shoot. Wide left. Big miss there. And this is a huge moment now, as it's the talisman for MKA, Mimi Temkin, with a chance to put some big distance between her squad and Hun. Temkin. Huge score. And MKA is a Hun miss or make themselves away from a Prep A title. Ava Che needs to make this. Four to shoot. Che denied, still alive, and that will do it. Cesario with the stop, and whoa, a late whistle comes in. So hold everything. Put 10 seconds back on the clock. We are not done yet here at Muenster Field. Ten seconds on the clock, and it's a penalty stroke, and Cesario livid. As it's Zahlen who will take the penalty stroke. Malia Cesario was celebrating. MKA was ready to rush her at the cage, but this is whistled for a penalty stroke. And Hun with new life here. The shot is in. And Zahlen keeps the Raiders alive for now. So now it's up to Murphy. A score and it's over. A goal from Murphy wins it. A save by Kempson keeps Hun alive. Murphy had the only goal today for the Cougars. Murphy. Denied. And Hun still alive. Kempson with the stop. And now it's interesting. Piper Morey. Morey cuts left. Morey denied, and time runs out as MKA beginning to celebrate. This time they hold off, not sure yet what the call is. And now they celebrate. Montclair Kimberley Academy, the Prep A state champions, as they defeat Hun 3-2 in an overtime one-on-one tiebreaker. A thrilling finish for the Cougars and an agonizing result for Hun. Both teams playing their heart out here today. It comes down to the tiebreaker, and Malia Cesario, the junior goalkeeper, able to deny Piper Morey, the talented freshman for the Raiders, as MKA claims the state title. Congratulations to the Cougars. A brilliant effort by the Raiders as well. Both teams played with a champion's effort, but only one can win it all. And the 2023 Montclair Kimberley Academy Cougars are Prep A state champions. A battle that will be talked about for these two teams probably for the rest of their lives. A fun one here on Play by Play Productions. Happy to have you with us throughout. That's going to do it for our coverage here today. Thank you so much for tuning in wherever you are. For our crew here at Play by Play Productions, our camera operator Jake Gallagher, and our executive producer Simon Rosenwasser, I'm Chris Markowitz saying so long and good night from Muenster Field.